Namaste. I'm happy. I hope you're happy too. And you're watching Old Boy TV. Subscribe. Join me. A lot of you are doing it and I can't thank you enough. Right, so what's amazing about Plovdiv is a multitude of things. I'm just walking down the main street and there's this staircase going down. You can kind of get an idea of what it is I'm about to enter. Right, there's a whole amphitheater just in the middle of the shops. You know, the kind of thing you do. Amphitheater in front of the shops. Why not? Now, do you reckon there were shops were put there and then the end? No. What a thing. What a thing that they have. I wonder if I can't imagine that couldn't have been avoided. But look, right? Look at that bit there. So here it starts around here. We go all the way around this incredible thing and it disappears here as well. I wonder how much bigger it was. Was it is it an amphitheater or was it a whole coliseum? Whatever that may mean behind it. But one thing's for sure, just sort of looking at any level of detail. Let's have a look at this rock here. Bam. Right, all of that is he or she, we'll refer to it, and it splits here. Ask rational questions. What could have shifted that? What could have moved that stone whenever? Oh, well, they had a lot of cheap labour. Look how many of them are. This is, by the way, this is one of the amphitheatres in Plovdiv. The one in a bit, but look, just this little bit here, and don't forget there's a huge amount that's no doubt missing. I mean, they've had to build, well, actually that whole shop front, so this was all mud, this was all covered in, you see, which people that imagine there hasn't been some kind of major flooding catastrophe happen on this earth, you've only got to look, that building was built, even if we want to play the game that will have been sold, that it was built in the 1900s or the late 1800s. When it was built, it had what it imagined were solid foundations, which comes all the way down to here. And all of this has no doubt been discovered, undug up and reclaimed. This is an original drain system that would have been part of it. What have the Romans ever done for us? Well, drainage, the aqueducts, the roads, education. Yeah, but apart from that. Right, so then look, we're going through this tunnel. Now see, look what's going on here, by the way. That light isn't flashing. I don't know if it will do it on this camera. Yeah, it is, it's pulsing a bit. It's not flashing to my eye, but it's digital. It's not analog, so let's look at it again. It's strobing, right? And that's actually, it's strobing so quickly that it's too fast for my Swede to actually see. So it seems to be a constant light, but actually it's like living in a hellish disco without choosing to. Go back to analog if you can before it's too late. Let's have another look at, oh look. I wonder which point it stops flashing. Doesn't really. Look, let's have another look at some of these stones. Just this fella here, look. Hello, fella. I mean, look, he's cut from there to there. Now, how's poor little Daisy the pony supposed to pull that, right? Having to stop probably every mile for quite a lot of water and hay, and that would continue. Something has got to deliver all the water and hay to these points, like a marathon, right? Once you start adding up the real logistics of moving vast amounts of masonry, it's not just as straightforward as, oh, there are lots of slaves and cheap labour. No, man. There's stuff we don't know. There's no two ways about it. There's stuff we don't know. I'm going to pause here, and I'm going to go reclaim the bike from where I've chained it up. Although I've got to be honest, you know what? almost feels unnecessary here in Plovdiv. There's just such a sense of security, safety, and non-thievery, if that's a word, here. People seem to be moral and honourable. There's a definite peace in the air in Plovdiv, Bulgaria. TBC. So, trying to find the other amphitheatre. I mean, it's wherever you look at this. Look at this baby. Now, first thing I want to point out is that. Look at the actual top piece. Again, I mean, it's got what we're referring to as portholes, right? Because it's the word that's used, but was that from portals? Was that some way of taking the ether, letting the air come in and working through? Now, this is obviously a belfry, but well, that's just a belfry, isn't it? I don't know if many of us here are aware of a thing that I've got a feeling it's referred to as the Great Bell Cull. And after the Second World War, all over the world, right, teams of, I'm guessing, secret handshaking people systematically went round the world, and all bells that were giving a particular frequency were either destroyed, retuned, or cracked. So the odds of these bells here actually resonating at something that would make a difference to the society here are low, right? But my feeling is they would have resonated somehow mixed up with some sort of mechanism that would have been in there rather than little holes. I mean, what are they for? Or just, we'll have a little look out of the window. Patrick, shall we have a look out of the window? Well, Murphy, which way shall we? Look, well, with the windows that we've got here, we can go north, south, but can you go east and west? Yes, we can. I'm half Irish, so I'm allowed to do that, okay? Let's go find the amphitheatre. Well, with all of the amazing newfangled tech we have, Google Maps, etc., etc., I've still managed to get lost. But the great thing is that there's kind of no pressure here to... Oh, look at that view of Plovdiv there. Let me just notice that. Sort of no pressure here to, it feels, for the tourist attractions. They are. I haven't been charged, I get charged to go into a relatively average, well, be it below average, well below par, natural history museum, but which was mostly stuffed nanmills and some fishy. But do you know what? That was done at the request of one of the subscribers. Any of you can do requests. Anyway, on y va. Or, I'm going to give this a go in Bulgarian. Tragvami. Off we go. So on arrival, I've discovered that there's some form of performance show or something that's planned to be here. So let's just have a look through the fence at this thing. I mean, my God, this is literally in the middle of urban. It's quite weird. I wonder, just at first glance, just going to zoom in there. And look at that brickwork. Right, is that where facading has fallen, or was that built and then all of this stuff assembled on top of it? Because there's something for me about this side of it that feels a little bit post the event. I don't know, I could be very, very wrong. And again, I could be very wrong we could all be very wrong on these being seats. I've always had the idea that these could be cascades. There's a huge amount of, I'm in the cage. There's a huge amount of water working around here. They can really hear the noise. Actually, just also flipping over again, let's look in the distance. We've got some fella at the top of the mountain over there. Got a feeling might have to go and visit him. Panning left, That looks healthy. And quite an amazing sort of, it's obviously been rendered and altered, that cliff face, but there's a sort of weird, almost man-made curve to it there. Back to the amphitheatre. I mean, what on earth? So yeah, it's shut off. However, and I realise why, because on the flip camera, they've, there's lights and all sorts rigged around the archways. But I feel that having worked in film and television for in excess of 35 years, that'll be safe with all that stuff. So I'm going to just shamelessly, all of the gates are shut, but there's one roped bit that's just stopping people getting in. Now, the bars and the gates can stop me. I'm not too sure about a bit of rope, you know what I mean? So I'm going to keep rolling as I shamelessly go for it. I'm just doing it with confidence, really. And I'm in. So let's have a little look from here. Hi. If you want to buy a ticket, it looks like everything's shut. You opening? I can buy a ticket? Yeah. Great. Everybody's waiting for tickets. Okay, so she did definitely have the ump with me. However, everyone else was walking up because it's all so sealed, and because there's evidently a stage down there and everything. Right, I've got a feeling that overbearingly people have felt it's quite a mission to get up here, and that people have basically assumed that it's shut for business because of it. But here I am. Here we are, actually, sorry. And just look at this. All of this is this stairway. All of that's brand new, obviously. These are replacements. But now we're getting original and a little bit, and some with a bit of filler. A little bit of packer. These stairs, I've got to be honest, this isn't something for the wobbly amongst us. It's a proper old mission getting up and down here. I'm going all the way down to the bottom so that we can have a majestic look up. We're in, guys. We're in the Amphitheatre in Plovdiv. I mean, I don't know if anybody's interested, I'll actually link it at the end of this video. But there's the Colosseum that I went to visit in Tunisia, and these structures, call it an amphitheatre. I mean, if it carried on, it would be, let's go super wide. I mean, wow, come on. Look at these bad boy boulders. We're at the top of a hill here, right? This is some serious masonry. At the top of a hill, there's drainage built in. That could be modern, it could be not. So this is where the show's going on. I'm quite interested in the wings. Again, you wonder if maybe it was actually built in order to do shows and etc. Maybe they had a bit of Romanesque variety. I mean, look, you know what? These arches, arcs, they're just all over the place, in the middle of nowhere, sometimes leading nowhere, seemingly having no purpose. And now we're on the backstage area. And obviously things go down quite a long way, but now look behind the main structure here. Obviously this has been built to aid modern events, and all of that very hardcore rendering is obviously to hold everything in place there. But I wonder, I really do wonder, I always wonder about these bits, because it just, in one breath, you might suggest that that's medieval brickwork, right? You might, but in the next breath, it's kind of like, well, is that actually the case? You know, is this what one imagines it is? Because let's look at this brickwork. So we've got this that's been put on with this render here. Right, so this is, I think one can make the assumption that this is post that, right? But you never know. Maybe that was rammed in post to address that. And all of this, was all of this actually here before? It is so hard. You know, yeah, I can read everything that's given to me, all the literature that's given to me by the local historical place. Somebody wrote it, I don't know if it's me or AI of the past. Right, so here we've got the little ointy pokey pokies. These are little enter stage centre areas. Of course, I'm going to have a little peek. Yeah, there's set dressing in there for the whole thing. Well, made it to here. Quite a mission. If you know, quite genuinely, if you come to Plovdiv, the smaller amphitheatre, the access is pretty straightforward for anybody. It's quite a mission getting up here, but if it's possible, it's well worth it. But I've got to go up this central ramp, and there's another really ancient looking archway up there that I feel it incumbent upon me to have a look at and share with thee. How are you doing today, by the way? Just, you know, single sentences in the comments. How are you right now? Okay, here we go. I'm going to flip the camera again. And here we are. Wow, different. I mean, look at this piece here. This is sandstone. It's still bloody heavy. And here's the arch. And look how precarious these centerpieces feel. But everything is perfectly holding itself up, self-supporting. And yeah, it's quite a thing here. I'm really glad that you've been able to come here with me. Share, like, subscribe, all of that stuff. It seems that people are, and I'm really grateful. This is Old Boy TV saying goodbye to thee.